Today, I'll be covering one of the most controversial and one of the most unique trucks on the market today, and that is a brand new Honda Ridgeline. In fact, this is my own daily driver. It is a 2018. It has been a blast, and in this video, I'll explain why it's the perfect daily driver and why you guys should consider it. Stay tuned. Now, the first reason why this truck is controversial is due to its looks. A lot of truck guys say, well, it doesn't look aggressive enough. It doesn't look as aggressive as F-150, a Silverado, a Raptor. Of course, this is not meant to compete in those markets. In my opinion, it doesn't look bad at all. It looks modern, sleek, and Honda made sure to differentiate this from a Pilot by changing the lower bumper. And there's features such as fog lights and projector headlights that's included in every single Ridgeline. Now, if you're like me and you want to add a bit more ruggedness to this, then definitely you could add on some meaty tires, put on a leveling kit, and if you combine that with the truck, I think it looks pretty good. Now, here's a closer look of my new rims and new tires. By adding on these aftermarket rims and tires, I feel like this completes the truck. These are general grabbers. These are all-terrain tires. They're a little bit under 33 inches. These are 17-inch wheels. And by adding this setup, it fills out the wheel well. It brings the tire up to the fender and just changes the look of this Ridgeline. And something else that I did that you can't really see is I added a leveling kit. And that is very popular among trucks. And what leveling kit does is level out the front so it's the same height as the rear, and that adds about 1.5 inches to the front and adds to the overall ground clearance. By default, a Ridgeline does have about 10 inches of ground clearance, and that's not too bad. You can clear pretty much anything that you'll encounter on the road and light off roads. However, by adding on the leveling kit and these bigger tires, I'd probably gain another 1.5 to 2 inches. Overall, with the combination of the tires, the wheel, and the leveling kit, it just adds to aggressiveness and makes this Ridgeline look more like a man's truck. Now, the second reason why a Honda Ridgeline is controversial is back here, due to the bed and the tailgate. Now, this is the second generation Honda Ridgeline, which actually looks like a truck and a normal truck bed. However, the first generation certainly wasn't like this. The first generation, they had sheet metal over here. There was no split, and it just looked weird. Now, with the second generation, Honda fixed that. To help it have a little sway and still have the rigidity, they actually split up the bed with the cabin and added weather stripping, and they got rid of this ugliness right here, and it actually looks like a normal truck bed. Now, I mentioned the tailgate. This is what they call a dual action tailgate. You can open it like this, like a normal truck. However, you could also open it like this, and no other truck on the market can do this. You might be thinking, why would you want the tailgate to open up this way rather than this way? Well, that's because Honda figured if you have this down, this is another probably feet to 2 feet, it's hard to reach in there. And if you open up this way, you could definitely go in much further than that. However, that's not where it ends. What's really unique about back here is the hidden trunk. Now, this is a game changer. Now, here's a good shot of the trunk. You can see that the spare tire and the tools is kind of hidden under the bed, and this trunk is massive. You can fit probably 6-7 bags of groceries. I have fit a lot of stuff in here, and this is all waterproof, which means that you could dump ice in here, you could rinse it if it gets dirty, and it has a drain plug. So Honda has really thought of what people might do with this truck, especially with this trunk. Now, because this is a sport edition, there's a few things missing on here that the higher packages has, and they are also unique to the truck segment. First of all, Honda have decided to make the whole bed into a large speaker. If you want to do some tailgating and you want to blast music, you want to utilize the trunk as a cooler, and you want to play music, you can. That is super amazing. And also on the higher higher versions of the Ridgeline, there is also electrical outlets that you could plug in on the side. But overall, Honda really thought of what people will do with this truck, and I think they delivered. You might be asking, does this truck have four-wheel drive? No, it doesn't. However, it has Honda's all-wheel drive system. It's actually carried over from Acura, where in Acura world, they labeled it SH all-wheel drive, super handling all-wheel drive. In Honda, they just call it all-wheel drive. And I'll show you how it behaves on a hill like this. As you can see, it handled it just fine. This is a Ridgeline drive. A Ridgeline drives just like a large SUV. I'm talking about the Ford Explorers, Nissan Pathfinders, the Honda Pilots. This is essentially the same kind of drive. And that's because it uses the same kind of independent suspension, all four wheels. It doesn't have the leaf spring setup that full-size truck has. The body is a unibody construction, so it's not body on frame. And because of that, it rides very comfortably, very quietly. Visibility is great. And that's why I think this is an awesome daily driver, why I drive it daily. Luckily, around here, there's a local dirt trail that I drove around, and the Ridgeline handled it just fine. There's no problems, there's no bed rattle, no bed shakes, and that's because of the unibody construction and the independent rear suspension. This thing is built like an SUV. However, if you combine it with some all-terrain tires, it can definitely handle most things you throw at it. So those of you guys that have driven trucks before know that it can be harsh. The bed rattles, especially going over large bumps. You know, it's not as smooth. It's definitely big. It's hard to get in and out of parking spaces. And with the Ridgeline, you don't have any of that. Even though this is a large truck, it is in the mid-size category. It is marginally smaller than a full-size truck. We're talking about a couple inches width-wise and about a foot in length. And that makes getting in and out of parking spots that much easier. Now, as I'm driving home, it is quiet. Granted, the all-terrain tires add a bit noise, but it's still very quiet in here. Visibility is great. I have plenty of space. It is comfortable. The seats are comfortable. And in terms of fuel economy, this is also pretty good. On the highway, cruising at 75, I was averaging about 28 miles per gallon. Locally, which is most of my driving, is about 16, 17 miles per gallon. Now, granted, the bigger tires that I put on probably knocked off 2 or 3 miles per gallon, but the tonneau cover also gained back a few, so it's pretty close to stock. And overall, for a truck like this, it's pretty good. And in terms of the engine, it is a 3.5 liter from Honda. It is what they call the Earth engine, and it pumps out 280 horsepower. It is plenty for a truck this size. It is smooth, it is quiet, and when you need to pass and go, it'll get the job done. To conclude, I love my Honda Ridgeline. I believe this has it all. It combines practicality, utility, comfort, and ruggedness all in one package. You guys definitely can haul the family around without any issues. It's comfortable, it's fuel efficient. It has the utility of a truck and a trunk, which no other truck has. It has the comfort of a Honda and just a large SUV with modern suspension. And it has the ruggedness of a truck, especially if you did what I did, which is to throw on some all-terrain tires. It definitely completes the truck. And overall, I love my truck, and I think those of you guys that are in a market for a SUV and possibly a minivan, but you really, really want a truck, you should definitely consider a Honda Ridgeline. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Hit the likes, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.